Okay, hello, my name is Jeff Rascov, and today I'm going to talk about the digital media program and at West Valley College and transferring to 3 state schools. And so I kind of want to talk a little bit about the schools that you could transfer to, as well as some of the work that you should be doing in school to transfer. And what I mean by that is some of the schools really require you to have a portfolio to transfer. And so I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about what you can do to prepare your work for transfer, I think is what my point here is. So again, most of these are state schools, and one is a private school. So two are state schools, one's a private school. And I'm just going to kind of highlight the students that I know who have transferred there, and sort of what they're doing now, I guess. So if we go to that first slide here, the first school I'm going to kind of talk about is the San Francisco State. And the program that I've had a recent student transfer into is what they call the Visual Communications program at San Francisco State. And in this program, it kind of follows really well, I think, with the digital media program at West Valley, in that it's not a traditional graphic design. I know we do offer a graphic design certificate, and we do offer a degree in web and mobile design. Actually, web and app design now. But the visual communications program at San Francisco State is kind of broad. You can learn a lot of different skills, from traditional kind of graphic design to more mobile and design and interface design, or what we might call experience design. And so in this case, here's their website. I think they actually have a quite a decent website. Here's a link to their program, and you can get some ideas of what you can learn there. You can see some of the classes. You can talk to the counselor about which classes might transfer. Some of the digital media classes do transfer directly. Some of them do not. They might have to transfer as an elective. But in this case, I looking at the first photo that they have there, and again, you'll see they have mobile apps. It looks like wireframe examples here, a flowchart example there, and these are the kind of the things I teach in the interface design class. And so the things that I'm looking at here, at least in this photo, kind of relate to some of the content that we teach in the digital media program at West Valley, as far as mobile and web design. So this might be a good one for you to consider transferring to. If we hit the next slide, we're going to talk about Ashley. She has recently transferred there. She likes the school, transferring from West Valley Digital Media into the Visual Communications. Here's some samples of her work. One of the things, again, I'm going to be pointing this out probably pretty much the whole presentation here, is that all of these programs, let it be graphic design or visual communication, are very typography driven, in that everything is based a lot upon type and type graphics and type communications. So as far as learning things before you transfer, I think typography and really working with designs with a lot of typography, I think, will be very important to all these. You'll see them throughout. Here's some examples of her school, her work there. Branding identity. I think we do a lot of branding identity in digital media, and so that's something a lot of people logo with typography, branding ideas. And then here's an example of more of a typography kind of layout. And these typography layouts relate to everything from web design to print design to mobile design, or app design is what I meant. And then here's some other design. Again, this is a visual communications, but it's also kind of a traditional graphic design kind of mix. I think that's why they call it visual communications, because it's not just traditional graphic design. It has other aspects to it, and again, very typography heavy. You'll see, using type as a form, type as a layout. And so I think even, and I'll continue a little bit later today to make I'll do a software demo of how to add type to a photo. But in this case, here is a examples of what, probably an assignment would be in their program. And then next we'll go to the California College of the Arts. And let's go back before we finish with San Francisco State. Again, it's a state school, so the tuition I'm not really sure, but it's probably $20,000 a year at least. And probably having to live there is quite expensive too in San Francisco, which leads us to price for like the California College of the Arts, which is a private school in San Francisco. I kind of like this one a lot better than the Academy of Art, which a lot of people push the Academy of Art. At least they. I think the Academy of Art is fine, but it's a really expensive and this is a very expensive school as well. You're looking at probably $50,000 a year at least. But I've had some students transfer. Again, it has a variety of design programs there, so there's a lot that you can transfer to the California College of the Arts. They do have a campus in San Francisco as well as in Emeryville, I believe, or by Oakland. In Oakland, and there is a link here to their. Oh, I lost my mouse here. Oh, well, that's okay. You get the link there. I'm gonna post this PowerPoint so you can go through it yourself and get the links. I'm sure you can find the website. I have linked up to the graphic design. I had a student transfer to their graphic design department, and here she is, Tomomi. Now, this is several years ago. More than several. I think it was 2006, but whatever. I've still had students transfer in the past few years as well. I think I wanted to show this one because I thought it was a very good kind of fit with what we do in digital media, in that it's not just traditional graphic design. That the school actually has a variety of other types of classes that you can take as well as graphic design. And it has fashion, and it has motion graphics, it has gaming kind of things as well. So I think the school has a good mix, and I think they actually encourage you to take other kind of things while you're at the school. Where I think the Academy of Art is a little bit more standard. Must take these classes for your program. I think they're a little bit more flexible, I guess is what I'm. So when Tomomi transferred, I remember several years ago, she transferred more as a junior. And so they accepted most of her. So with a private school and transferring from like West Valley, you kind of can negotiate a little bit about which units they'll accept. You could show them your portfolio piece and say, I learned these skills in this class and there. So with a private school, you can kind of negotiate a little bit. I remember when Jean, which is another instructor in digital media, she transferred to Cal State East Bay. It's called. Yeah, that's what it's called now. It used to be called Cal State Hayward. And when she transferred there, she had to negotiate, and they accepted pretty much all the classes from digital media at West Valley. And that was a state school, and she actually was able to negotiate them accepting the units just because of the name of the classes was kind of close to the names of the classes there. Even if we don't have a direct transfer agreement, she was able to have them accept the classes. Let's get to the work here. Again, very heavy typography. So I think, and then book publishing. They're very heavy into book publishing here at the California College of the Arts, and they're still that way. I know some people that have some of the professors there are traditional book publishing, and so very. Very interesting. In fact, this is her portfolio from West Valley, and now that I'm looking at the picture on the right side here, if you look, she made this book before she left West Valley, and you can see kind of what I think so. Maybe this is just a page from there, and she was showing some of the work that she did at West Valley. But again, it's very typography. You look, posters, photographs, collages with typography. These are the kind of things that they're looking for. And so those are the things that I would concentrate in if I was going to transfer to the College of the Arts. The last one I'm going to talk about, of course, is probably the closest one to West Valley, the graphic design program. San Jose State has a graphic design program. It's very competitive to get into, but they do have offer other ones as far as art. You can get a BA in art instead of a BFA. A Bachelor of Fine Arts is what that would be, but they also have a Bachelor of Arts degree without the F in there. So they do offer a variety of design, kind of mix design on art kind of degrees. The student we're going to talk about here is Sean Stanton. He transferred a couple years ago, but I wanted to show kind of his work there. This is kind of his portfolio from West Valley when he was, and I know the reason why I'm talking to this is kind of the portfolio class is what I'm talking to right now. And, you could see, heavy typography. He got accepted because his work was based upon images and typography and a mix of images and typography. And I think, that's a lot, again, what they're looking for in any design program. And so Sean went on to pretty much do more of a print. He's more of a print designer. But as you can see here, here's some of his posters. So, looking at posters, shapes, typography, good typography, color, and shape is really what they're looking for when you're transferring. So, I think, and you can see this is kind of healthcare design. These are some healthcare layouts that he has done for Stanford. And in fact, I've had a lot of students go and work at Stanford. It'd be a good place for you to go and get an internship, Stanford, design, as well as the West Valley marketing department. I usually have 2 or 3 students every year work with the marketing department at West Valley. And as you can see, here's his resume from way back when he was graduating. So you get an idea of what his resume might say and what it does. And then here's a link to the latest graphic design. I know my mouse isn't working. I'd have to let me hit my. There we go. We'll kind of we'll start. I had to hit the escape key and then start from the slide. Now my mouse is working. So in this case, I can go and click on here, and it can show you some of the students who were from this year. This is the current portfolio of all the students in the graphic design from this 2012 here. And you get an idea of their work as well. Very heavy informational design, I think a lot of it is. A lot of designs today. It would be infographics. I think a lot of things, again, a mix of design and typography, So, again, heavy typography and shape and so on. So, look for, those kind of things. These are the things you should be working on at West Valley for you to transfer, or even applying for a job. They're going to want to see good typography and shapes. And so if you have any more information, you can always email me. Again, this is Jeff Rascov talking about transferring out of digital media into some of the other schools around the area.